Welcome to Stormwater Drainage Solutions. In today's video, we're going to be doing some exterior drainage upgrades to the existing systems around this house. So basically, these systems aren't some complex drainage system that all runs out to the front and there's a 6-inch main line with, 4 or 5 downspouts attached to it. Basically, these downspouts are just ran roughly 10 to 5 feet away from the house. It's just to get the water away from the foundation. This client was on a budget, so we went ahead and we just made upgrades to these existing downspout drain lines, as well as cleaned them out and got them back into action. Now, this right here is a perfect example of why you never want to use a 4-inch grate on any type of drainage discharge. So the grass here was replaced, not by us, by another company. And the discharge end to this system was located because of that. They had this screwed in there, whoever the previous installer was to the system. But you can take a look down in here and it is just filled with shingle gravel and debris. Now, mainly shingle gravel. So this tells me two things. One, as long as a corrugated drain line has proper slope, the shingle gravel and grit will make it to the end of the discharge line, as long as that pipe has proper slope on it and it does not hold bellies. The other thing this tells me is that 4-inch grate will obviously not allow this debris to come out. So this debris gathers at the end of the line and ultimately it starts to clog the line from the discharge end backward. So this is a perfect example of why you want to make sure that when you're discharging your system on a 4-inch line, you want to use a 4-inch pop-up emitter. Now we're going to be switching this one out to a French Drainman turf restrictor plate pop-up emitter, as well as one of their not quite a 90s, so we can get a better ramp on the end of that discharge, and that'll help get the debris funneled out a lot better. So they just had this PVC 90 duct taped on to the corrugated line. And that's, we always preach never to use duct tape in drainage systems. If you're going to be using any type of tape in a drainage system, it needs to be a tile tape, either PVC tile tape or polypropylene, one of the two. That is going to hold up for a long time. So you can see the shingle gravel here, it starts to dissipate when we look down into the line. So it's only at the very end, which is not a big deal. We're easily going to be able to flush this out with our garden hose jetter, and then this line will be 100% cleaned. So the shingle gravel does make it to the end of a corrugated line, and it will make it to the end of PVC, it will make it to the end of dual wall, it will make it to the end of a drainage pipe, as long as that pipe has proper pitch on it and the discharge end is effective at allowing debris to actually come out of it. See, the pop-up emitter will pop up so debris can escape out of there. The 4-inch grate, because it only has the slits for water to come out of, it's going to stop debris. A grate is mainly used to collect water and to keep debris out of a drainage system. That is what a grate is for. Now we're going to be installing our FDM leaf filter cleanouts on all of these downspouts. Now, we highly recommend the French Drainman leaf filter cleanouts. These cleanouts are the best on the market. They stop pretty much 90% of organic debris, leaves, sticks, tree seeds. They stop 90% of it from getting into the drainage line. Whether you're running PVC, corrugated, whatever kind of pipe you're running, we would recommend putting the leaf filter cleanouts on, just because from what we have seen now out in the field over the years of installing these is we never have to clean out these lines anymore that have the leaf filters on them. It really is that simple. The homeowner just opens up the trap door to the leaf filter and they clean it out after every couple of storms, and that's pretty much about it. Like I said, the roof shingle gravel and any sediment that may get into the system, that will wash through as long as that pipe was pitched correctly, whether it's smooth interior pipe or corrugated interior pipe. So you can see Miguel is putting this leaf filter on this first downspout here. Pretty much it's that simple. You just kind of get a rough measurement of the downspout. You cut the downspout if needed. If not, if the downspout's up high enough, then you can go ahead and just slip that leaf filter clean out, that adapter, over the downspout. you can push your single wall pipe down and then just pop it right in. Now, if you're working with a rigid pipe such as PVC or dual wall, you're not going to be able to push that pipe down because it can't flex in on itself. So in that scenario, you may have to take the down pipe off of the gutter, or you might have to dig down and either cut or move that rigid pipe and then coupling it back on. But an easier way to do it, like I stated, is to just take the down pipe off of the gutter, get your leaf filter clean out set up, and then just slip the down pipe back on and then reattach that downspout up to the gutter up top. So you'll have to use a ladder, obviously, for that to do it that way. But in this case, because all of these drain lines, except for I think one on this house, were corrugated, just single wall corrugated, we were able just to push that corrugated pipe down and then refit that leaf filter on there and push the pipe back up. Now, we do use a couple of screws. We use some small self-tapper screws to hold that leaf filter clean out in place to the pipe. That way, if there is any shifting or settling in the ground, the leaf filter clean out won't get pulled away from the pipe at the bottom there where it connects. So we do make a mechanical bond there, but the leaf filter collected all of the debris, so we're not really too worried about anything getting snagged on a tiny screw at the top there that's sticking through. Here's an example of debris that is clogged in the top of the riser pipe here and the gutter downspout adapter. So debris will make it into your line if you have no leaf filter clean out or gutter guards at the top of the gutters. You need something to try to keep the debris out of a main line, especially if the main line is 4-inch or smaller. Now, once you start getting into a 6-inch main line or bigger and the downspout sizes increase, the chances of the debris traveling through the pipe increases greatly, meaning that debris is going to travel through a pipe a lot easier when that pipe is larger in diameter. But keep in mind, you also need enough water flow traveling through that pipe to move that debris. So whenever you start upping your main line to a 6-inch main line, you need to make sure that there's going to be enough water flow through that main line to efficiently move that debris that will ultimately get into the pipe. Now, we typically do not put leaf filter cleanouts on our 6-inch systems or our bigger systems because, like I said, the water pretty much keeps the system clean. And not only that, but currently there is no leaf filter clean out that will fit a 6-inch pipe. We can rig them to fit a 6-inch pipe, but we don't like to do that because it does create a choke point. And if there is a lot of water coming down that downspout, then it gets choked off there, and we have seen issues because of that. So as you can see, each one of these lines, we're going to be jetting them and cleaning them out and finding the discharge end to the lines. Now, all of these lines were put on a 4-inch grate discharge, and they all had grown over. The grass had grown over them, covered them completely, and the clog then began, and the entire line got clogged up on most of these. And as you can see here, the roots that grow in there are absolutely insane. Roots will find a way in, and they will feed off the nutrients and the moisture that is in that pipe. So you're best to always use a pop-up emitter, or if you can't get access to a good pop-up emitter, then you need to use a hinged basin. So you need to put a 9x9 or a 12x12 basin and put hinges on it so that on heavy rains where a lot of debris is gathering at the end, the hinges can allow that basin lid to lift up so the debris can escape, and so influxes of water can also escape and push debris out. This is very important. If you need drainage in the Tampa Bay area, give Stormwater Drainage Solutions a call at 813-614-3456. We install everything from downspout systems, French drains, catch basins, channel drains, you name it. If it's stormwater drainage, we do it. Give us a call. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. It really supports us. It helps the channel out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, this is SWDS signing off.